But anyway, we're joined in by Kunal Shah, who's the Senior Technical and Derivative Analyst at LKP Securities. Welcome on board, Kunal. Kunal, texture of the market as well as the Nifty Bank, your views on the benchmark and the Nifty Bank?
Yeah, I think the volatility is going to be there ahead of the elections. We have seen a good rally from the lower levels for the Nifty index. If you look at India VIX today, it is almost trading at 21.7 levels. So even it has surpassed the recent high what it had made, which clearly indicates that this volatility will continue in the markets. Now, if I talk about Nifty, the good part about Nifty is that we are trading above the level of 22,500, which was the immediate resistance zone for the market. Even if you look at the open interest data for the weekly expiry as well, 22,500 is the strike price where the highest open interest is also built up. So clearly the base is getting stronger and stronger day by day. We should hit the levels of 22,700, 800 on the upside. So for me, the Nifty view remains bullish as long as it sustains about 22,450 on a closing basis. If I talk about Bank Nifty, this is at a very interesting juncture where the 20-day moving average of the Bank Nifty is placed at 48,300. We are just touching those levels on the futures front, but we are unable to sustain above it. So once we see a breakout above 48,300 decisively, Bank Nifty will see a good short covering move towards 48,600 and even 49,000 levels on the upside. So for me, if you look at Bank Nifty, 48,000 now continues to be a strong support. Again, with I compare with the open interest data, 48,000 put is the strike price where again the highest open interest is also built up. So clearly put writers are active on the lower ends. So for both Nifty and Bank Nifty, the view remains bullish. Just a breakout above 48,300 for the Bank Nifty, which was an underperformer, will start to outperform the Nifty index. And that is where it will also push Nifty toward 20,700 mark on the upside.
Okay, what about stock ideas, Kunal, for the afternoon?
See, I think PSUs is something what the focus is on, and I think that is where the real momentum is. So my pick would be NBCC, that is from the cash market. The stock has already given a symmetrical triangle breakout on the technical charts. 149, 150 is where the stock is currently trading. One can initiate long positions at the current levels, keeping a stop loss of 140 on the downside and looking for targets of 170 on the upside. So PSUs is something where the momentum is, and NBCC would be my top pick in that space.
Okay, so it's PA. You like nothing from metals, Kunal, before we take that break? Metals is the other pocket that is looking so strong today.
Absolutely. Neeraj, I think metal is in a bull cycle, and I think this is going to continue for the next 3 to 4 months as well. We are extremely bullish on the entire space as well, and the entire metal index is likely to go even from the current levels up by at least 5 to 8% on the upside in the very near term. So if I talk about index, if moving 5 to 8%, stocks I can see at least a rally even for 10 to 15% from the current levels as well. So for me, the pick over here will be Tata Steel. Fresh breakout, what we have got in the stock in today's trading session after a long consolidation, which was lasted for the last 2 weeks. And this breakout has been backed by volumes as well. So clearly a good momentum. What you are getting 174, 175 where it is currently trading, keeping a stop loss of 169 on the downside. Looking for first target on the upside will be 183 and second will be 192.
Well, it is a ferrous name and not a non-ferrous name, because non-ferrous are the ones which are actually really revving up. I mean, just look at what a Vedanta and a Hindalco have done. Add to that a Hinzinc maybe. Just some really strong moves there. Kunal, come in. I mean, auto stocks have had a good run, but as Gurmeet, actually the way Gurmeet said, that if you've seen Kotak Bank react the way it has one day in a year, you know that you've seen it all. But autos in particular, Kunal, they've had a bit of a slipshod ride, save for a few like Bharat Forge, etc., which have had a really good move this time around in this earnings season, or an M&M. What do you do with some of the auto stocks? Are they looking skittish?
Yes, Neeraj, if I talk about the on a chart perspective for the Nifty Auto, I think the uptrend is still intact on a technical chart. I see some overbought territory which the auto sector is entering into. So even if I look at the momentum indicator RSI, it is trading above 80, but it has still room to go towards 85, 86. So as of on the technical chart, it doesn't look anything very much negative. 23,000 is a level on the auto index which I'll be watchful for. If it breaks that level, then probably the selling will start coming in for the auto space, where it can even head toward 22,400 on the downside as an index. But till the time these levels are not reached, I'll be constructively bullish on the sector, specifically like names of M&M, which is still looking very strong. on the technical charts as well. And the two-wheeler space, like of Bajaj Auto, Hero Moto, these are something the names which are looking very good on the technical charts as well. But yes, if we talk about the four-wheelers, yes, there is only specific, like Eminem, what I mentioned, is something which is looking good. So you have to be stock specific in four-wheeler space, but two-wheeler space is something which is looking very attractive on the charts.
Okay, thanks for that, Kunal. Before we actually switch back and talk about the very interesting defense plus railway kind of play, Kunal, your take on the overall PSU pack?
See, I think PSU banks is something which one should be, I think, much more constructive on. I don't think the entire space will perform, but now the outperformance will come in selective banks. So constructively, we are bullish on SBI, and I think this is where it is heading toward that four-figure mark on the higher end. So 828 is currently where it is trading. I expect SBI to eventually move to the marks of 950,000 levels on the upside. So SBI is a buy. Definitely on the chart perspective, strong uptrend, high low formations are intact, and the momentum is going to continue. If I talk about the smaller banks on the PSU space, that is where Maharashtra Bank looks very interesting to me on the technical chart. Again, it has been trading at a very good support zone, a rising trend line support on technicals, and I expect this momentum to continue and the stock to make again a new high in the recent days as well. So 73, 74 is what I'm expecting the stock to achieve in the short term. 67 is where it is currently trading. Overall, I feel this could be also at least going towards the levels of 90, 92 on the upside. So Maharashtra Bank and SBI will be the top two picks on the PSU space.
Okay, all right.
Kunal, any thoughts on VIX and how elevated it has been, and could the market still scale higher despite that VIX?
Exactly, Neeraj, what I talked on the start of the show. It's the India which is causing a concern here. 21.8 is where it is trading. The recent high what it made it again surpassed it. So clearly there's strength over there. So the volatility is going to be there. Looking comparing this with the open interest data and the futures data, the view seems to be very biased on that perspective, where the uptrend is likely to continue for the market. So I think between the volatility, we might see some knee-jerk reaction on intraday perspective. But I think the overall trend still continues to be bullish, with 20,450, 500 acting as a strong support for the markets. So VIX could continue to rise. The volatility could be there in the markets. But overall, the long-term trend still remains bullish for both the Nifty and the Bank Nifty index.
Okay, point well taken. I mean, some of those stocks doing well. Two questions to you, Kunal. Any of these PSU names that have been buzzing today, do you like any of them on the charts?
Yeah, I think, yes, if you talk about the defense space, BEL is something which still looks attractive at these levels. So for me, if you get around a corrective phase, somewhere around 264, 265, that could be a good level of entry again. So wait for some dips into the stock. Again, I can expect the stock to go towards the levels of 300 on the upside. On the shipping space, GRSE still looks very attractive to me. I think the momentum has been very strong in the stock. Again, over here, since the rally has been quite sharp, if you get a 3 to 4% decline in the stock towards that mark of 1150 or 1140, utilize that to buy. I can expect again targets of 1230, 1250 on the upside in the very short term.
Kunal, one more question. Is Engineers India, which is just starting to move above the 270 mark, is it showing any promise on the charts?
See, I think on the charts, if you look at it, is trading at a very critical resistance zone. So it's a rounding base formation on technicals, what it has formed. And the previous resistance was at 275 to 80 mark, and it is exactly going towards that mark. So if that resistance is taken out decisively with volumes, then you can expect the stock to move higher towards 320, 330 levels. The setup is very good, but I think we need to wait for a confirmation because there are times in the previous where we have seen a breakout failure even at the current levels as well. So I think wait for the stock to close about 280. That will confirm the breakout. Then you can look for targets of 320 on the upside.
Okay, Kunal, that time we're probably 8 minutes from close, but that time on the show where we take from you your BTST, STBT ideas, if any.
Yeah, I think overall, if you look at it, it's the day for the PSUs, and I expect this momentum to continue. So LIC is something which is looking very good on the chart. The stock has given a fresh breakout with volumes in today's trading session surpass its hurdle of 1020 on the lower end. So now the breakout is confirmed on the stock. I expect this momentum to continue and take the stock towards 1060, 1080 levels on the upside. So LIC is a buy at the current levels, keeping a stop loss of 1000 on the downside.
Now, gentlemen, out of time completely, but Kunal and Gurmeet, great talking to you. Thank you so much for your time this afternoon and have a great remainder of the week. Quickly wrap up the markets and I'll just